Our coastal communities, which suffered so much under Matthew, are all trying to get on the same page as Irma approaches the state. Mayors, city managers, and police chiefs in Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, and Jacksonville Beach spoke several times today, both in person and on the phone, about the storm threat. Tarek is joining us now with what these three local governments are doing. Tarek.
Tom, taking a live look from our beach cam right now. Looks great now, but you know, the dialogue between these coastal communities has been ongoing for several days now, but things really ramped up this morning when the hurricane was declared a Category 5. These coastal communities are preparing for the possibility of high winds, torrential rains, possible flooding, and so are the residents.
Every storm's different, and we just don't know.
Barbara Dertina, who lives in Atlantic Beach, just put her house up for sale. The timing, she says, couldn't be any worse, with Hurricane Irma threatening Florida's coastal communities.
A lot of the rain, if rainfall, and also I have a lot of windows in my house, so something coming through the window. I mean, structurally I feel pretty sound, but things happen. Things start flying through the air, and you just don't know what could occur.
We caught up with Dertina, who was also at Atlantic Beach City Hall today, following an emergency preparedness meeting with city leaders and police, who all want to be on the same page if Irma's winds and rains make it to North Florida.
It's a barrier island. There's so much to contemplate. And whether there's a mandatory evacuation is way down the road, but there's lots of work for us at City Hall and for the community to do in the meantime in preparation for our week ahead.
The three coastal communities of Atlantic, Neptune, and Jacksonville Beach are all reviewing their hurricane preparedness plans, considering full-time staffing over the weekend, including mandatory overtime and canceling city workers' vacation time. They're also reviewing how Hurricane Matthew affected their cities last year, pinpointing areas that are prone to tree damage, flooding, and identifying mobile homes typically vulnerable to high winds. They stress that everyone should be preparing now for the worst, which would mean the evacuation of the barrier islands.
With what just happened on the Texas coast and all the way inland to Houston and beyond, and what we went through with Matthew last year, I think that folks are more on guard than they would have been before those storms, and that's a good thing.
We also reached out to the Jacksonville Beach lifeguards as well, and if the storm really begins to impact North Florida, their big decision is going to be whether or not they're going to close the beach completely to the public. But we stress, you know, it's still too early to reach any kind of conclusion. They do say, however, that wherever the storm does go, there's going to be a real risk of some serious rip currents, erosion, and deadly waves.